Hey, this is Susan Arnall with the Right to Life League. And once again, I've got Greg Burton. He's going to show us now how to call in during a hearing when legislation is being listened to on the floor, and you can voice your support. You can say, I support this legislation, or I don't support it. You can't give long statements as to why you support, but you can register your support or your opposition to any bill simply by telephoning, and there's a process to do that.
Yeah, so because of the COVID situation here at the Capitol, during committee hearings, when a bill is going through the process, the committee will allow people from the public to come to the committee hearing and make a comment on whether they support or oppose a particular bill, right? And so you used to have to come down to the Capitol building and sit in the hearing and wait for your turn to come up to the microphone and say something. But now they're doing it all online. I'm not sure how long that'll last, but for now, that makes it convenience for people throughout California to let their voice be heard. So I'm going to take you through a process of how to actually make a online comment in a committee hearing. So the first thing you need to do is to find out that your bill has got a hearing, and you got to find out what committee hearing
where it is
going to be, where it be heard. So let's
you got to find the bill, and then you got to find where the bill is on whatever floor. So that it's kind of a little bit of a detective process.
That's right. So there's two options. It's either in the Senate or it's in the Assembly. So here is the California Senate. Here's their main webpage. And if you already know what committee it's going to be heard in, and you would find that out by doing a legislative search, and we did another video on how to do that.
Or perhaps somebody like maybe California Family Council or the Right to Life League has sent you a short email that says, hey, this bill, this Senate Bill 245 is going to be heard in committee. So then you would have that information if you needed it, but you could search it, right?
That's right. So that particular bill that you were talking about, SB 245, was actually heard. One of the committees it went through was the Senate Health Committee. So here we are on the website, and if you want to find where the Health Committee is, you click on committees right here, and you scroll down here, and these are all the different Senate committees, and you go down to here to health. See that?
Yep.
And you click on health. All right. So here is their committee website. All right. Now they've made this pretty easy. If you want to find out if your bill is going to be heard a particular day, you'll click on the agenda. Right. Now there's no committee hearings coming up.
Right, because the Assembly, the Senate has already kind of heard all of those things, and we're now talking about the full vote because this is in late May. We're doing this in late May.
So
the agenda tab is where you would go to find out what's going on at this particular the Senate Health Committee today. That's where it would be.
And so they typically have committee hearings once a week at the same time. And I'm not sure exactly what the Health Committee, I think it might be on a Tuesday, like at 1 o'clock or 9 in the morning. Yeah. And so if you wanted to comment on it, what you were interested in commenting on a particular bill. Now, these bills are sometimes there's, 4, 5, 10 bills are going to be heard in one day. So really, you got to get on and be willing to sit there for a couple hours until your bill comes up for a hearing. But if you go back to the homepage here, it will give you a phone number. It'll give you information about, and now they don't have one here, but public testimony participation number. And so you would call that number.
And there would be a phone number on that day. There would be, instead of TBD, to be determined, there would be a special phone number right there.
That's
and right below where it says access code, instead of TBD, there would be a special code that would be just good for the day, just for whatever day. And you could then, once you've called that number and pushed in that access code, you would be sitting in basically an auditory waiting room.
That's right. You actually hear the hearing going on, right? Mm-hmm. And you got to wait until your bill comes up. And so you'll hear it announced like, okay, we're now doing bill SB 245, right? and the author will get up there. He'll make an opening statement. He might have some witnesses in favor of the bill, right? And he'll have 2 witnesses in favor of the bill. And then they'll say, all right, for those people in the public who'd like to make a comment, please on your phone, hit the number 10, right?
Right.
And
This
then-
is really important because what they do is they say what they have, it's in sections. The first section, as you said, is the author, reads a short statement and has 2 witnesses in support. That's not the point for us as regular people. We're not allowed to come in and give testimony in support. After that period, then we can simply just state our name and our support, because this is the first half is support. So if you're in support of that bill, then right down here, I don't know if, can you see my cursor on your screen? When
No.
a committee, right below where it says, please note in bold, right, that bullet point right below it, it says when a committee moves to public comment, that's the part we're talking about. A
Yeah.
moderator will ask for anybody who's sitting on hold. We're all waiting there in the room in support. If you support that bill, whatever it is, then you press the number 1 and a 0, like you said, 10, 1, 0. That will cue the moderator to then bring you up. You'll be put in a line, and they'll open your line so that then, and all you can really do is say, my name is Susan Arnall, and I'm from the Right to Life League, and I oppose SB 245. Period. That's it. You can't give additional reasoning. They'll cut you off, because this is not the time for witness testimony. This is just a time for you to basically stand up for what you believe about this bill and say either I support or I oppose.
That's right.
After
And here's a little caveat is when you push the number 10, you need to wait, and operator will come on and give you a number, right? They'll say your number 304, and you write that number down. And then they say, okay, line number 304, your line is open. And
right.
so you
gotta pay attention.
That's right. So you got to wait till your line is open. And when they say your number, then you say, and then you go and you speak, and your voice will be going right into the legislative hearing, and they can hear you. And then they'll go on to the next person. They say,
and
okay,
they record
line
it.
45, your line is open.
You're recorded. They put down your name and you say, in support of it. It's a public record that you're making. Right. And then now if you're in opposition, as I am, against SB 245 and all of these bills that try to kill babies in the womb, you might have to wait, because the first section is whatever the senator or whoever it is, the maybe assemblyman who's presenting the bill and the testimony in support. So they're talking about, these are all the guys on the side that say, yes, vote for, in favor. Then after the testimony and after regular people can call in, as we've just discussed, then moves to the second phase, which is opposition. So sometimes if you're opposing a bill, you have to be patient. You have to wait until the opposition has had a time to come forward, present its 2 witnesses to testify, this is a bad bill because it kills babies, because it hurts women, et cetera, et cetera. And then they will open up the session once again for public comment. And, if it's an abortion bill, we're going to be waiting a little while so that then we can say, I'm Susan Arnall from the Right to Life League, and I strongly oppose SB 245. You have to wait for that section. You can't push 1-0 when it's during the support time. Right. You have to be patient. You have to listen so that you weigh in during the opposition time. Otherwise, you might have inadvertently just supported the bill. So that you have to listen and be patient which way you want to go. If you want to support it, you come in first, and second is for people who oppose it.
That's right. And so let's say your bill is not in this particular committee, then you go back and you find, let's say, the Agriculture Committee, or let's say it's Human Services, right? Okay. So here's the Human Services website, and here's the same thing. See?
And there's a number today.
Instruction. They have a code in there. So each committee has a different number and a different access code, and sometimes they don't announce what those are till like the day before the hearing.
Yeah.
So if you're ever confused, just go here, and it'll gives the same instructions on what to do. And so,
And but it's good to show them the participant number and just scroll
Yeah.
down a little bit and the access code. That's what you'll see. And you
Yeah.
see the instructions for calling in. So that's how you do it,
yep.
depending on what committee it's before. Good. All
There
right.
you
Well,
go.
thanks, Greg. Thanks for showing us how it's done and how the sausage is made up there in California. The state, legislature, now it's a little more clear. So if we want to support or if we want to oppose legislation, we have the tools to do it. Thank you.
Sounds good.